everybody, how are you doing? And I hope all is well. So we've just started a new month in the studio, a new month on the calendar, and a new month like worldwide, and that means a new Q&A. For Q&As I'm always answering questions that are dropped in comments or on my Patreon page. Alright, so the first questions are from Patreon. The Fern line asks, what are your top 3 features in Reaper? I really like, and this sounds pretty logical to you guys, but the first most important feature is offline bouncing. But that's because I came from Pro Tools and Pro Tools didn't do that. It does do it now, but yeah. Offline bouncing and batch bouncing. I always need to make different versions for my clients, like an instrumental live version, a cappella, a full version, unmastered version. I make them in a batch and then press export, get a cup of coffee, and when I'm back, it's done. I need 3. That was 1. I really like the auto coloring from the SWS package, but that's not, yeah, it's a Reaper feature. And the third one, I think that will be like how easy it is to folder tracks, like to make folders. What I will do is I will make a Reaper update video thing, in which I will show you my current Reaper workflow, and that is always evolving, so maybe that's an idea. If you guys like that Reaper video, drop a comment below. And like the video, by the way, also like it. Hannes Gottschall says and asks, really enjoyed your video about high quality audio. Do you have any experiences with DSD, Direct Stream Digital audio format? If so, is there really an audible difference? What do you need to operate it? Can't seem to find any viable infos on the internet about it. I don't have any experiences with DSD. I know what it is, I know how it works, I know the theory behind it. I know that I think Grimm makes a DSD converters. I don't really know how it actually interfaces with a DAW. I think it's not, well, Reaper doesn't support it, I think. So I really want to dive into that DSD thing. The thing is, DSD is right now really aimed at that hi-fi market and therefore very expensive. And if I want to try it out and make setups in the studio, I need to buy that equipment, and yeah, that's where things go wrong. Thomas Irving asks, what is your favorite music style? Do you engineer live bands? So actually 2 questions. Well, to the first one, I don't really have a favorite music style, which is pretty difficult to understand, but I really like good productions, and I really like music that has been made with passion. That can be like the most crazy metal song, but I was, just prior to this video, I was listening to a track called Issues by Julia Gauss or so. I'm not sure what her name was, but most of you will know the track Issues. It's a really soft track, so don't really have a musical preference. I just like music in general. I really like music. Do you engineer live bands? I did. I actually did a lot of live bands. But right now I'm really focused at my studio work, and I'm only accepting those live engineering jobs from certain people, from certain companies, and only if they are somewhat interesting. So the last one I did was a pretty high-end musical thing with like 64 inputs, which was really like also a challenging thing for me. If it's just like standing in like half a meter high of beer and mixing like a standard band at a way too high volume with a lot of people that are suffering from the Dutch disease, which is a lot of people talking, so not listening to the music. Yeah, I'm not interested in it anymore. It's not. There isn't any challenge in that for me, and the respect level of the actual listener is super low, and I don't like that. I'm working hard for that sound, and there aren't a lot of people appreciating that. Alright, on to the comments on YouTube. James Bartlett, I would like to see you go over 500 series pre's and comps. I don't have a 500 series rack and or something that can hold 500 series, so or I need to get one sponsored, or someone needs to give one to me, or I need to buy one, but it's not on my wish list, so I'm not buying one like in the near future, maybe 5 or 10 years down the road, but for now, not doing it. Famitori, you should have a look at some of the plugins made by Chris Air Windows. Yes, I will. I've actually been tipped by a lot of different people to check them out, but I'm only making 1 or 0 snake oil videos per week. I'm not doing more than that, and the list is really big, with things to do. So I will. And keep in mind, I read every single comment. Like literally every single comment. So I'll note down everything that I need to remember. Meta Human Project asks, which model of Eventone do you have? Thank you very much in advance. Those are the Eventone Mix Cubes. Kali Hulu says, how does the NS10s compare to the Mix Cubes? They are actually very different from each other. The NS10s are really hyped speakers. There's a lot of high-end in the NS10s. And the Mix Cubes are actually pretty dull, but very comforting to your ears. And the NS10s aren't. It's really difficult to listen to them for a long time. If you ask me, the Mix Cubes are really made to endure. So the Mix Cubes are really made to do longer sessions on. That's how I see them. The guys from Eventone say something different, but I really enjoy them when I need to work longer. I mix a lot on those Mix Cubes. Eddie Kramer should punch this guy. If you think no one wants tape noise, you're mixing EDM and nothing else. It's a bit of duality for me between noise and no noise. From my own feel and my own perspective, a little bit of analog noise can really give more emotion to a track. However, this needs to be proper noise, like proper noise from a machine or like proper noise, not a loop or a sample or something. The only thing is that every time I try to do this, I get complaints from my clients that they can hear noise. They are not expecting noise, they don't want noise, and in the end I need to follow their directions. So that's why I'm saying that nobody wants noise, because that's what I'm experiencing. Every time I try to put a bit of noise in there, people are complaining. But is this a reason for Eddie Kramer to punch me? And why are you asking this? I mean, you actually made a pretty reasonable comment, but why do you need to get aggressive for that? You also made your point without being aggressive. So for the next time, just put your comment out there. You don't need to be aggressive. There's no reason for that. Unfa! This is on my 192 kHz video. From experiences, it's not that simple. Sure, you have lower latencies with the same DSP buffer size, but you also need to process way more data every second to play audio without dropouts. So I would say that if you can have lower latencies using 192 kHz, you can as well just make your buffer smaller to 48 kHz and have the same as your hardware, proven it can handle more data per second. Higher sampling rates always mean more work for your hardware, as there is more data to process. That's true in theory. And it's also not that when I went up to 192 kHz that I went to 1/4 of my latency. That's not true. My latency became a bit better. Like, I think I had about a 10% improvement in latency, and this is most of all because of the way how AVB works. So in theory, this is true what you're saying. In practice, works a bit differently. ZapU. Now that you've heard the NS10s, you need to get a set of the new Eventone CLA10 and see if they stack up to the originals. Yeah, bring them in. I don't get it why people always think that I can buy everything that I want. I can't, really. If I could, then the CLAs would also be here already to test. But I can't. Carlier 74. Do you always use your Eventone speakers in stereo? I have just one for mono checking mixes. Yeah, I actually use them always in stereo. I do have a mono button on my console and I can turn off one of the Eventones if I want to check in mono. I did this a lot in the past, but I do however check a lot in mono with the mono button just to check if there aren't any big phase issues in the mix. Doctor or Dur? Bharat Singh Sambiyal. Why you get such less views? You are one of the best out there doing your thing. I hope you get more views. Thank you for your time. And then another one says, he's one of my favorite YouTubers on this type of content. I feel like he's my secret weapon. I don't share enough because I don't have so much network on this business. And another one, same here, his vids should get way more attention. And the thing is, if I try to get more attention on YouTube, people are complaining that I'm doing things like clickbaiting and you know, doing all those techniques to get more views. But if I don't do them, then I get comments like, you need more views. So I think we all, you as a viewer and I as a YouTuber, we all need to understand how the game actually works. And the game doesn't work in the honest way that you would expect it. It's not that good content, good knowledge or good videos even are being promoted on YouTube. YouTube only wants one thing, and that's watch time. They want to keep people on their website as long as possible. Even if I make the best video out there, that doesn't mean that it gets viewed a lot. It needs a good thumbnail, it needs a good title, it needs a lot of thinking. I really need to keep your attention throughout the video, because if you cut out halfway through the video, I am producing less watch time for YouTube. So I will get less points in the next promotion recommended run from YouTube. There's a lot to it and a lot of things I don't like and you guys don't like. But we have to play the game in this way, because that's how the game works. Simple as that. I'm growing and seeing a lot of lines like this, so I'm not worried about that. I will get more views in the future. No worries. Please let me do my thing. Sample dude. Get a fucking job, you wanker. Let's answer that question with a question. Why do I need a job? I already have a job. I've actually created that job myself. I've created my own work, I've created my own business, and I created my own studio. I could go out there and, you know, search for a job as a stock boy. But why should I? That's boring. And you know, I think you have a job. I think that you're not liking that job, but your own brain and your own imagination is limiting you from doing what I'm doing or doing whatever you want to do. So, think about that. Next one. Alex Cormendi. Dude, I love your channel, but snake oil is your most unreliable segment and honestly caused me to underestimate you because it was the first thing of yours I came across. I'm all for documenting you trying to use it for the first time, but you really need to spend more time with the plugins before you can give an educated opinion of their usefulness and learning curve. I'm also still not satisfied of snake oil. I'm growing and every time I'm spending more and more time on the plugin to learn it even better and to give a better opinion. I'm with you on this one. I'm growing. I will become better. No worries, I will. Yana B, nice video. That blind test would definitely be something very interesting to listen. Yeah, working on that one. Not sure how I'm going to do that actually, because it involves a lot of things. YouTube doesn't really have the best audio quality, so still not sure how I'm going to do that and also make it interesting and, you know, all that stuff. So that could cost me a lot of time to figure out. So please wait for that. Jordan Rinella, how about a mix from beginning to end video? Something organic, not meaty preferably. Very good idea, it was already in my head. But the thing is, I need more equipment for that, more video equipment for that. I need multiple camera angles, so you guys can really see what I'm doing. I need a better internet connection, because if I'm doing that I also want to live stream it. Because that would be really interesting, really walking through the process as it happens. And after that also posting the video, and that will be like 4 or 5 hour long videos. So that would be a really cool idea to do, but it's actually, I'm planning that at a certain milestone in terms of amount of patrons and in terms of amount of subscribers. If I have those two, then I will take the step and take the risk in investing in a lot of gear and equipment to do this. Because right now my reach isn't high enough to actually do that, and I have a lot of ideas which I can do with my current setup. That will happen in the future. It's just a simple waiting game. And that actually was already the last question for the Q&A, and I think this video was already long enough. If you go to my Patreon campaign right now, there are already 2 new snake oil videos up there. So if you want to see them already, they're being published this Thursday and next week Thursday. You can wait for that, but if you want to see them right now, check out Patreon. Also, if you just want to see older videos or other videos of me, I cannot really imagine if you, you can check them out over here. Thanks a lot for watching this one. Drop your questions below. Bye bye.